1963 Technical Committee to be finalised soon. Respect Board's decision, refrain from commenting on social media. Salam Malaysia Madani, I'm Olivia Nicholas and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. Two new members of the Malaysia Agreement 1963 Implementation Action Council Technical Committee JKTM-TPMA 63 will be finalised this month. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadillah Yusof said a draft memorandum on the restructuring of the committee had been completed and would be tabled to the Cabinet soon.
Daripada Sabah, kita akan cadangkan YB Datuk Iwan, iaitu Menteri Koperasi dan Pembangunan Usahawan Persekutuan, dan juga YB Datuk Arod akan duduk dalam itu jawatan kuasa tersebut, jawatan kuasa teknikal untuk mewakili Sarawak.
He said this after presenting Chinese New Year contributions and ang pao to senior citizens and persons with disabilities in the Matang area at the Sungai Tengah SUPP Hall in Kuching today. Datuk Sri Fadillah also said the restructuring of the committee was done to replace the minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Sabah Sarawak Affairs and Special Functions, previously held by Datuk Armizan Muhammad Ali.
Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil has called on all parties to respect the decision by the Pardons Board on former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak and refrain from making comments on the matter, including on social media. Citing Article 42, subsection 1 of the Federal Constitution, he said it stipulates that the Yang di-Pertuan Agong has the power to decide on the matter and that the decision cannot be questioned in court.
Tapi kita pohon semua untuk menghormati. Ini adalah kuasa tuanku, ya, dan tidak boleh dipersoal di mahkamah. It is non-justiciable. Telah diputuskan dalam beberapa kes dia tidak boleh dipersoal di mahkamah. Jadi kalau di mahkamah tak boleh dipersoal, saya pohon supaya kita hormat keputusan ini.
He said this in a press conference after conducting a cellular service quality test at the Felda Bukit Goh Digital Economy Centre, Paddy, in Kuantan today. Yesterday, the Pardons Board announced that the prison sentence against Datuk Sri Najib has been reduced from 12 years to 6 years and the fine to 50 million ringgit from the original 210 million ringgit.
The iconic Sarawak Laksa has been recognised as a heritage menu that represents unity in conjunction with the Sarawak edition of Food Unite in Warisan Kita program. The National Unity Minister Dato' Aaron Ago Dagang said a total of 12 Sarawak Laksa stalls owned by local entrepreneurs, each with its unique characteristics, were featured at the program held at the Kuching waterfront.
Dato' Aaron said that the initiative would be expanded to other states and regions in an effort to strengthen unity among Malaysians through the promotion of heritage food.
Saya haraplah dalam kita mengenali warisan kita melalui makanan, ini juga merupakan usaha yang unik bagi kita bertiraf dan menghargai keunikan adat budaya warisan setiap tahun yang merupakan aset negara.
Speaking at the program launch today, he said the eateries have received the Cita Rasa Menu Kami recognition for successfully highlighting moments of unity through Malaysia's local cuisine. In addition to Sarawak Laksa, the Food Unites event also features 6 other main traditional foods such as nasi lemak, fried kway teow, ayam panso, biryani rice, cake lapis and latok. Approximately 10,000 visitors are expected to enliven the program, which will run until tomorrow. The upcoming edition of Food Unites is scheduled to take place in Melaka, featuring the famous asam pedas at the State Heritage Menu.
The Malacca authorities will give added focus on 8 accident-prone hotspots statewide during the upcoming Chinese New Year holidays. State Public Works Infrastructure, Public Amenities and Transport Committee Chairman Dato' Hamid Maitin Kunju Bashe said they include Lebo AMJ, Jalan Masjid Tanah, Jalan Sungai Udang, Jalan Umbai, Jalan Tehil Bimban, Jalan Merlimau Jasin, Jalan Gapang Bimban and Jalan Lubuk China Hutan Percha.
He said almost 2 million vehicles are estimated to crisscross the state during the festive holidays.
Jadi operasi akan mula 1 hingga 29 di seluruh Melaka dan kita mengenal pasti ada 8 hotspot yang kita tahu sebagai kawasan punca-punca kebalangan, kawasan-kawasan panas untuk kawasan-kawasan kebalangan dan juga kawasan yang pengguna selalu kerap berlaku kebalangan.
He said this to reporters after officiating the launch of the Chinese New Year 2024 road safety campaign in Bukit Beruang today. Earlier at the event, over 50 participants exchanged their old helmets for Standards and Industrial Research Institute of Malaysia Sirim Berhad approved new and safe helmets. Dato' Hamid Maitin said the helmet exchange program and road safety operation were efforts to reduce accident rates and fatalities, particularly involving motorcyclists and pillion riders during the festive season. Road safety, he said, is a shared responsibility and requires cooperation to ensure that everyone practices a safe culture, including using safe equipment such as reflective clothing and helmets.
The Immigration Department has confirmed that a total of 37 detainees who escaped from the Bido Immigration Depot last Thursday have been re-arrested as of 6 a.m. today. Immigration Director General Dato' Ruslin Juso said the operation to track down the remaining immigrants is ongoing until all of them are apprehended.
He also said that this development indicates positive progress in the operation, which received cooperation from the police, including the General Operations Force, Air Operations Force, Criminal Investigation Department and the People's Volunteer Corps, RELA.
Fokus kita, risikan kita, operasi kita di kawasan-kawasan yang menjadi penempatan penduduk asing, warga asing. Contoh di sekitar Tapah ni, kita fokus di situ. Kita tidak menolak mereka akan pergi ke tempat bangsa mereka, keturunan mereka dan kawan-kawan mereka yang mungkin dah kenal sebelum ni untuk minta bantuan. Dan saya ingatkan jangan siapa-siapa memberi perlindungan. Kita akan ambil tindakan tegas termasuk warga asing yang melindungi mereka yang melarikan diri ni.
Dato' Ruslin has also ordered immigration across the country to conduct large-scale operations as the target and radius of the search have been expanded. Commenting on the depot's operation, Dato' Ruslin said that it has been cleared completely.
The Selangor Fire and Rescue Department JBPN recorded a total of 7,350 fire incidents in the state last year, including the airplane crash incident in Elmina near Shah Alam. Its director Wan Mat Razali Wan Ismail said this figure marked an increase compared to the 6,294 cases recorded in 2022.
He said the incidents resulting in loss of life showed a declining trend from 2019 to 2021, dropping from 32 fatalities to 16. Nevertheless, last year witnessed an increase resulting in 21 lives lost. Meanwhile, he said nearly 50% of buildings categorized as designated structures under the Fire Services Act 1988, Act 341 in Selangor lack a fire certificate FC.
1844 bangunan yang dikategori sebagai bangunan yang ditetapkan dalam akta, iaitu bangunan yang dikenakan FC lah, ya, yang perlu ada perakuan bomba setiap tahun kena kita periksa. Kita perlu melakukan pemeriksaan dari segi perkakasan keselamatan kebakaran, ya, itu tahunan.
He said this to reporters after launching the fire safety campaign ahead of the Chinese New Year celebration in Shah Alam today. He said last year charges were filed against 99 premises owners for non-compliance with fire safety requirements. One Mat Razali said a range of violations occurred, such as blocking safety exit routes, issues with malfunctioning pump systems, problems with emergency lights, unauthorized modifications to designated premises made without approval from the fire department and other similar infringements.
2 lorry drivers were killed when pinned in their vehicles in a road crash involving 7 vehicles at kilometre 288.1 of the North-South North Highway near Gopeng Perak this morning. Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director of Operations in Perak, Sabah Rodzi Nur Ahmad, said the accident involved 3 lorries and 4 cars.
In a statement today, he said the drivers of 2 of the lorries, one laden with metal structures and the other with sugar, were pinned in their seats and died at the scene. The accident caused traffic jams for several kilometres on both highway directions, with spillage of sugar from one of the lorries involved at the crash site. Meanwhile, Ipoh District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner ACP Yahaya Hassan said the investigation found that the crash occurred when the driver of the lorry laden with sugar lost control of the wheel. Yahaya said this caused the lorry to skid and veer into the opposite lane before colliding with a lorry laden with metal goods. He urged those who witnessed the crash to come forward to assist in the police investigation carried out under Section 41, Subsection 1 of the Road Transport Act 1987. Meanwhile, Plus Malaysia Berhad, through its X account, confirmed that traffic at the location of the incident was not moving this morning.
Coming up next, significant decline in drop calls with CRE activation. The activation of the call re-establishment CRE function for LTE 700 coverage in the 5G network from the 21st to the 29th of December last year has yielded results, with issues of dropped calls recording a decline. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said that while some service providers recorded a decrease of up to 70%, there are still issues that need to be examined by telecommunication companies, telcos, to improve their quality service.
Jadi saya selepas ni akan bincang dengan pihak MCMC dan juga pihak DNB untuk kita teliti apa yang boleh dilakukan pada kadar segera, membolehkan lebih banyak menara menyediakan perkhidmatan 5G. Seperti yang kita semua sedia maklum, secara keseluruhan di seluruh negara kita telah capai 80.2% capaian kawasan berpenduduk. Tapi ini secara keseluruhan.
He said this to reporters after conducting a cellular service quality test at the Felda Bukit Gok Digital Economy Centre, Paddy, in Kuantan today. The test, conducted through repeated and continuous call methods at 8 locations, covered a distance of 31 kilometres from Sungai Karang to Felda Bukit Gok. The mobile network service providers involved were Celcom DG, Maxis, U Mobile, Unify Mobile, TM and Yes YTL. One dropped call was recorded throughout the tests.
TNG Digital Sdn Berhad TNGD is set to impose a 1% fee for all top-ups to the Touch and Go e-wallet TNG e-wallet using credit cards starting from the 23rd of February. However, TNGD announced that top-ups to our debit cards and Do It Now will remain free of charge.
TNGD Chief Operating Officer Alan Nee said the move was taken to curb excessive cash withdrawals using credit cards to bank accounts, as well as to reduce the substantial costs associated with credit cards borne by TNGD thus far. He recommended TNG e-wallet users to opt for Do It Now for top-ups, as it involves a fund transfer process between banks. As the largest financial institution managing over 20 million verified eKYC, policy, Know Your Customer through digital platforms, users Ni said TNGD must strike a balance between convenience, security and the long-term sustainability of the company's cost. In October, TNGD lowered the free credit card top-up limit to 1,000 ringgit per month compared to the previous 5,000 ringgit. TNGD said that this was a measure to restrict credit card withdrawals to bank accounts.
Bursa Malaysia is expected to continue its positive momentum next week amid cautious sentiment on the regional and global market, according to dealers. Rakuten Trade Sdn Bhd Ikuti Research Vice President Thong Pak Leng said the valuation of the FBM KLCI remains attractive, with the benchmark index having successfully maintained above 1,500 mark after surpassing this resistance level last week.
Additionally, he said, it has continued to trend upwards and moving away from all exponential moving average EMA lines. Thong said Rakuten Trade anticipate that the upward momentum will drive it towards the subsequent resistance level of 1,527 as the bulls regain their strength. For the week just ended, the local bourse was influenced by the outcome of the U.S. Federal Open Market Committee FOMC meeting, as well as China's Evergrande Group court order, which resulted in profit-taking activities in selected heavyweights. The FOMC meeting decided to keep the interest rate unchanged at 5.5%, affirming that the U.S. interest rate is at its peak. However, investors remain cautious as the U.S. Federal Reserve commented that a March rate cut is unlikely. On a Friday-to-Friday basis, the key index rose 10.30 points to 1,516.18 from 1,506.28 previously.
The ringgit is expected to trade range bound with a slight appreciation against the US dollar next week, according to an analyst. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad Chief Economist Dr. Muhammad Afzanizan Abdul Rashid said the ringgit is anticipated to trade between 4.71 and 4.72 per US dollar as investors digest the United States non-farm payroll data on Friday.
In the meantime, he said the International Monetary Fund IMF has revised its 2024 global growth forecast from 2.9% to 3.1%. Speaking to Bernama, he said this would mean a soft landing in the global growth storyline has been solidified, elevating fear for weaker growth as the global interest rates are likely to be on a lower trajectory. On Wednesday, the U.S. Federal Reserve decided to maintain the interest rate at 5.50% during its January monetary policy meeting. Dr. Muhammad Afzanizam noted that the U.S. Fed decision might suggest that it would slightly delay its rate cut to perhaps in June, albeit the downward narrative still intact, which could be positive for the emerging market currencies. For the holiday shortened week just ended, the local note was traded mixed on risk of sentiment ahead of global monetary policy's decisions. On a Friday-to-Friday basis, the ringgit was traded higher against the US dollar at 4.7155 and 4.7185 compared to 4.7275 and 4.7325 a week earlier.
The Malaysian rubber market is expected to trade range-bound with a slight upward bias next week as rainy days in the rubber-producing regions are hampering rubber tapping and reducing the latex yield. The Malaysian Rubber Glove Manufacturers Association past President Dennis Loh said the market would also be supported by sporadic buying and replenishment of stocks based on current usage ahead of the Chinese New Year holidays.
Loh said the volatility of the exchange rate and oil prices would also have a significant effect on rubber prices. He also said that the global economic outlook is still sluggish, which resulted in a more measured approach to rubber trading. Throughout the week, the local rubber market was mostly positive, with the overall bulk latex surging by 5.56%, while the standard Malaysian rubber 20 SMR20 posted marginal gains of 0.14%. On a Friday to Friday basis, the Malaysian Rubber Board's MRB reference price for SMR 20 closed at 710 cent per kilogram compared to the previous week's close at 722.50 cent for a decrease of about 1.73%. Bulk latex closed 3.9% higher at the 652 cent per kilogram versus the previous week's close of 627 cent per kilogram.
Still ahead, 3 injured in Paris train station stabbing spree. A man has gone on a stabbing spree at the major Gare de Lyon railway station in Paris, injuring 3 people before being arrested by police. The French authorities did not offer any immediate information on the possible motive for the attack, which took place at about 8 p.m. local time on Saturday, as the French capital prepares to host the Summer Olympics in less than 6 months.
According to the police, 1 person suffered serious injuries to the abdomen, while 2 others were lightly wounded in the attack. Police said the suspect, a Malian national, presented officers with an Italian driving license which gave his date of birth as 1st of January 1992. The suspect was overpowered by a passerby before railway police arrived on the scene. The Paris prosecutor's office launched an inquiry into the attack, while the National Anti-Terrorist Prosecutor said it was observing proceedings at this stage. Gare de Lyon is France's biggest mainline hub, with more than 100 million passengers going through it annually. Rail operator SNCF said the area between halls 1 and 3 was temporarily inaccessible, adding that services to the Paris region were delayed due to an act of criminal intent.
Malaysia has welcomed the European Union's EU proposal to host an international peace conference aimed at drafting a roadmap for a 2-state solution to resolve the long-standing Israel-Palestine conflict. Foreign Minister Dato' Sri Mohammed Hassan said the end of the decades-old Israel occupation of the Palestinian territories is fundamental for a viable 2-state solution, as well as enduring peace and security in West Asia.
He said for any path to a sustainable peace, all parties' voices must be given adequate space to speak for themselves. All voices must be elevated, Dato' Sri Mohammed said, and all voices must be empowered for dialogue to be meaningful. He said this during the 24th ASEAN-EU ministerial meeting in Brussels, Belgium on Friday. His statement was made available to the media by the Foreign Ministry. On the same development, Dato' Sri Mohammed underscored the need for collaborative efforts between the ASEAN and the EU to ensure global peace and stability. Emphasizing the shared commitment to peace, he highlighted that both ASEAN and the EU were founded on the principle of maintaining peace within their respective regions.
Coming up in sports, it's not about revenge, says South Korea in win against Australia. Stay with us. Tottenham Hotspur star Son Heung-min sent South Korea into the semi-finals of the 2023 Asian Cup as they beat Australia 2-1 on Saturday, but did not seed as revenge. Son and the Taegyeot Warriors were denied a 3rd title after losing to Australia by the same scoreline in the final of the 2015 edition in Sydney. The 31-year-old forward, who scored in the 2015 final loss, said the defeat 9 years ago was indeed painful, but also matured him, who has enjoyed a brilliant career since then.
Australia had taken the lead just before half-time when they cleverly switched flanks with neat passes in the box before Nathiel Atkinson's cross found Craig Goodwin, who had time to set himself up for a volley into the bottom corner. But South Korea had dominated possessions, and with time running out, Son won a penalty in stoppage time, which was put away into the top corner by Hwang Hee-chan, the fourth goal after the 90th minute at the tournament. Going into extra time, Hwang won a free kick on the edge of the box, and Son stepped up to guide his effort past the wall, beating Matthew Ryan in goal. Australia's attempts to fight back suffered a blow when Aidan O'Neill was sent off after a VAR review for a foul on Hwang, reducing Graham Arnold's side to 10 men. South Korea played Jordan on Tuesday in the first semi-final after the West Asian side beat Tajikistan 1-0 early on Friday.
Jordan awaits South Korea on Tuesday in the first semi-final after beating Tajikistan 1-0 earlier. The two teams had drawn a World Cup qualifier in November, but it was Jordan who came up on top when Vadat Hanodov put the ball into his own net from a set piece, ending Tajikistan's dream run in the Qatar.
In a goalless opening half, Ehson Panchambe came closest to scoring for Tajikistan when his effort hit the bar, while Jordan forward Yazan Al-Naimat failed to convert two difficult chances to break the deadlock. Jordan finally found the breakthrough from a corner in the 66th minute when Abdullah Nasib's header went in via a deflection of the chest of Handonov, their goal scorer from their last 16 win over the United Arab Emirates. Tajikistan tried their best to score an equalizer, with Alisher Shukurov coming close when he tested keeper Yazid Abu Laila from distance with an effort that stung his palm, but Jordan managed to hold on for a famous victory. Hussein Al-Mota's side will next play South Korea in the first semi-final on Tuesday.
All top four seeds at the Montpellier Open on Friday advanced to the semi-finals. Fresh off sealing his 100th tour level win in the previous round, top seed Holger Rune made it 101 wins, defeating Michael Moore 7-6, 6-4 to book his spot in the last four.
Holger Rune defeated American Michael Moore to move into the last four of the Montpellier Open at the Stade de France Arena on Friday evening. Ahead of his victory, the 20-year-old Dane won against Spanish qualifier Pablo Lamas Ruiz. Second seed Alexander Bublik, who won in Montpellier in 2022, moved past Alexander Shevchenko for 6-6-3, 6-4 in an all-Kazakhstan clash at the Indo-Hard event in France. Bublik thundered 15 aces and crucially saved 3 breaks points when serving for the match at 5-4 to advance on the second match point after 2 hours and 8 minutes. Bublik will now face third-seed Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime, who defeated local Harold Mayotte 7-5, 6-1, moving closer to his first final in 2024. In the previous round of the Montpellier tournament, the Canadian edged out Frenchman Arthur Kazak in a third-set encounter. Croatian fourth seed Borna Koric defeated Italian Flavio Corboli 6-3, 6-4, advancing the semi-finals of the Montpellier Open. The Croatian finished the match in 1 hour and 36 minutes and will now face Dutch top seed Rune on Saturday.
That's it from us this evening. In our top story, Respect Board's decision refrain from commenting on social media. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for watching.